What if Komodo dragons spread around the world? Imagine walking through a forest in Europe or hiking in the mountains of South America. Suddenly, from behind the bushes, a giant reptile with razor-sharp claws and venomous saliva appears. It's not a crocodile, not a snake, but a Komodo dragon. Now picture this not just in Indonesia, but everywhere on Earth. From the deserts of Africa to the icy edges of Russia, Komodo dragons roam freely. The question is, what would our world look like if Komodo dragons spread around the globe? Before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Your support helps us create more thrilling what-if scenarios. Stay with us until the end, because the outcome of this scenario may shock you. Let's begin with the basics. Komodo dragons are the largest lizards alive today, growing up to 3 meters long and weighing more than 70 kilograms. They are apex predators on their islands, capable of killing prey as large as water buffalo. Their weapon is not just brute strength. Komodo dragons have venom in their saliva that lowers blood pressure and prevents clotting. A single bite is often enough to weaken and eventually kill even massive animals. In their native islands of Indonesia, Komodo dragons dominate the ecosystem. They are the kings of their environment, with no natural predators above them. But what if they spread across the world? First, let's look at tropical regions. In Africa, Komodo dragons would compete with lions, leopards, and hyenas. Their venom and ambush tactics would make them formidable rivals. In South America, they'd clash with jaguars and anacondas. The dense Amazon rainforest would give them endless opportunities for ambush. Human villages would be in constant danger from unexpected reptilian attacks. But Komodo dragons are not limited to warm regions. Imagine them adapting to cooler climates in Europe. They might grow larger to conserve heat, becoming even more monstrous. In Australia, where they are distant relatives of monitor lizards, their spread could wipe out kangaroos, wallabies, and even dingoes. The balance of the ecosystem would be completely disrupted. Komodo dragons would reign supreme as ultimate land predators. What about North America? Deer, elk, and even bison could fall prey to packs of Komodo dragons. Cities near forests might face regular attacks, just like people in Indonesia occasionally do today. In Asia, their spread would be catastrophic. In India, they might attack livestock and compete with tigers. In China, rural villages would be forced to build defenses just to survive. This global spread would affect human civilization deeply. Farming would become dangerous, as Komodo dragons would raid crops and livestock. Rural communities would shrink, while fortified towns and cities would rise. Transportation systems would need new safety measures. Highways, trains, and airports near wilderness areas would require Komodo-proof barriers. Even urban parks might become death traps. Governments would be forced to respond. Massive extermination campaigns might try to control their numbers, but given their adaptability, Komodo dragons would be nearly impossible to eliminate. Tourism would shift dramatically. Instead of safaris for lions, thrill seekers might flock to Komodo zones. Protected observation decks and armored jeeps would become essential. Culturally, humans might develop myths around these reptiles. Komodo dragons could be seen as symbols of death, power, or guardians of sacred lands. In some regions, they might even be worshipped as living dragons. Science would also take great interest. Biologists would study their venom for medical purposes. But militaries might try to weaponize or even breed them for combat use. But the darker side is far more likely. Komodo dragons are ambush hunters that patiently wait for their prey. For humans, that means constant fear whenever stepping outside. Economies would be disrupted. Livestock farming would collapse in many areas. Insurance and construction industries would focus on dragon-proof solutions. Could humans adapt, perhaps by building walled cities and advanced defense systems? Or maybe by trying to domesticate these reptiles, a risky and likely impossible task. What about the environment? Komodo dragons would devastate native wildlife in many regions. Extinctions of herbivores and smaller carnivores would be unavoidable. This could trigger cascading effects. Forests might overgrow without herbivores, or collapse entirely from imbalance. The entire global ecosystem would be reshaped. So, who would remain dominant, humans or Komodo dragons? At first, dragons would spread quickly and take control of vast areas, but over time, human technology might hold them back. Still, survival wouldn't be easy. Life outside major cities would be nearly impossible. The rural way of life might disappear forever. At the end of the day, a world where Komodo dragons spread globally would be more dangerous, unpredictable, and terrifying. Every forest, trail, every farm, every beach could hide a lurking giant reptile. Earth would become a planet where humans are no longer the only apex predators. So, let me ask you, if Komodo dragons ruled the world, would you fight back, adapt, or simply hide? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more what-if scenarios that bring imagination to life.